Lights.
Camera.
Watch. Moana 2?
Why not?
It's terrible.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
What do you mean? It's not unwatchable.
Look. It is something that to put on for the children, but comparing it to the first one...
Go back to your first sentence.
What?
It's something to put on for the children.
For the children.
It's like fine, and the first one's like a masterpiece.
Okay, well, masterpiece is...
Disney masterpiece.
You know...
So low standard masterpiece.
You know what I'll give the first one? It was more of an original concept that we really like. It's not the Cinderellas, it's not like the Sleeping Beauty. It was something that I never thought they would do, but they did. Now, what I'll say is, this movie is an animation spectacle that everybody has to see, and that's what. Animation-wise?
I disagree. I think the animation was pretty lame. I thought it looked kind of flat. And I think that's the problem with the like TV to movie situation.
Really?
I thought it was fine. Was it like... It wasn't like mind-blowing by any means. It was just like, we're sitting in an animated movie. The plot was like kind of the same as the first one, but with less like emotional stakes. Because the first one, it's like, okay, she's on the island. Their whole village is dying, right? They can't catch any fish. If they don't leave, they're literally going to die. Her grandma dies, and it's like, this little girl is going to save the whole village of the people, which are the only people they think exist. The second one is like, oh, Moana, she's here. She's our wayfinder. She can leave. She can save us. But the ancestors need her to do something else. They need to connect the people, which is like, sure, that's nice. The people are separate. The ocean are separating the people. But like, it doesn't have the same like emotional stakes as the first one.
Well, first off, I'll say you are 100% right about the emotional stakes, because when I watched the second one, you see Grandma cry. You see her, she starts talking and hugs and stuff like that. Immediately tears, because when you watch the first one, I think the grandma is such an emotional centerpiece of the story.
Oh, for sure.
But now I feel like
she's a spirit whale.
She's one of those.
Oh, she's a stingray.
Stingray. R.I.P. Steve Irwin.
Well, that's tough.
I know, right? But anyways, segue. But the original one had this emotional level that's like fantastic about it, whereas I feel like this one had the younger sister where it could have been that emotional anchor, but it wasn't that much of an emotional anchor compared to...
So I think it would have been 10 times better if the little sister snuck onto the boat.
I agree. I just don't get, like, imagine...
Then there's the emotional stakes, because it's not only you have to make sure she's safe.
Yes, and I just don't understand how they didn't sneak her aboard, and I don't know if there was somewhere, like, the Disney execs are like, look, we can't, like,
can't put the kid in danger.
Again, like, if this was, like, Disney 20 years ago, the kid would be leading the charge, you know? Yeah. But it just wasn't the same. And I think they, like, when you look at the plot, they underutilized, like, some of the characters. I loved some of the side characters. Like, the girl, I forget her name, but she's, like, the person that built stuff in their village.
I think the person who built stuff was cool.
Yes.
Couldn't tell you her character name.
Exactly. Forgettable.
I thought the old man was awesome.
Yes.
He was the shining star for me. Couldn't tell you his name. I thought the other guy was kind of annoying.
Yeah, because he was basically like a fanboy that we didn't need him to be a fanboy. He could have just been like a cool guy. You know what I mean?
So he's a fanboying about Maui, right?
Yes.
In the first movie, Maui and Moana are not like homies.
Yeah, they're not. They're like kind of like rivals or enemies or...
And then like, I just think in this one, it's like, oh, my best friend Maui, like I need him. Oh, Moana's gonna save me. Like, no... You're not close like that. You guys met once, like years ago.
Yeah, and then it's like you forgot about it because you see him like going on his own journey and stuff like that, and Moana's still stuck on the island. But when I look back at the story, it's kind of like, hey, it's a girl on an island trying to leave the island and then ultimately coming back to the island. Like, to me, it's like, what's the difference here?
I thought it was fine. Like, by no means is it, like, unwatchable. And I don't think it's, like, the worst thing I've seen, like, even recently. It looked good. It was, like, fine. But, like, it's pretty flat. Like, I don't think it was very memorable. The first one's really memorable.
You know why it's flat? That's music.
Okay, it's really sad in this day to say that the loss of Lin-Manuel Miranda is, like, a bad thing. That's just shout out the king portraying, like, beating all stereotypes.
I just say, like, it's known that Moana has the songs that kids...
They had no bangers.
All the songs were terrible, and I feel bad for...
There was one that was kind of good. I liked the Bat Ladies song.
and that's another
But
character
then the
that could
Bat
have
Lady
used
had
more.
no other plot or did not come back.
And I don't know why the Bat Lady was introduced as like a bad guy. You know what I mean?
It would have been cool if she was a bad guy. There was no real bad guy other than the Storm.
Yeah, it's like, and a lot of I want villains. I want like a good guy versus a bad guy, or just like an adventure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like an overwhelming adventure. Like you can't have like in the Marvel terms like a Galactus, like this giant beaming entity that's in the sky that's just like causing chaos. You know what I mean? And like the Bat person's supposed to be like his herald and like gonna go pass judgment on it. But like going back to the music, you watch the first one. Like you know the songs. You're Welcome is such a great song, you know. Like
she kept saying like you don't know how far you'll go, and I was like, oh my god, are they gonna do a reprise? And then they didn't.
Yeah, and like they just, it's interesting. Like they do some callbacks. Like there's a scene where what's his face, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is like, you're welcome. You know what I mean? He does like these little slight jokes. Those are kind of funny. But and then even The Rock had a song too. But I'm like, that song wasn't good. And I grew up watching Dwayne Johnson.
They tried to do the rap thingy, but they just couldn't do it.
It just wasn't good. I mean, like, I just feel like sometimes people don't realize they have like a good IP, and Disney is the king of having great IP and doesn't know what to do with it until somebody else comes in and steers that IP in the correct directions.
I'd say they definitely dropped the ball on it, but like as far as kids movies, it's like not a bad kids movie by any means. It's just the first one is so good that the second one just, if there was no first one and Moana 2 was the first one, we'd be like, that was pretty like, that was fine. That was kind of nice.
You know what baffles my mind? Moana immediately gets a sequel.
Not immediately. It's been years.
How long has it been out?
I will literally find out for you.
You do that.
Because they're making a live action Moana. You know this? Like a recreation of the first film, like in production right now. And I was like, Moana did not come out that long ago. It came out in 2016.
Okay, that damn, a lot of sense.
So like
almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. It just seems like, because I've seen it so much in the background that I think it's so much in the...
But it's like crazy that 2016 is like almost 10 years ago. But I was like, yeah, Moana, no, it's been 10 years and now it's getting a sequel. Like, I think that's a warranted amount of time.
Agreed. I didn't even realize it was that long ago, but I just don't feel like... It's made a ton of money, which I think Disney is happy about.
Yeah, it's a kid's movie in the wintertime. Of course it's going to make lots
of
money.
But I didn't expect it to make this much money. Like, I knew it was loved. Like, when we went to the movie theaters, there's kids everywhere watching it and stuff like that. And it was, like, almost, not packed, but it was a significant amount of people, like, on a weekday.
Yeah.
And I was happy about that because I love seeing people back in the theaters, and we need people back in the theaters.
You know, this is, like, the biggest box office weekend for, like, Thanksgiving week or something. It set the record between, like, Wicked, Gladiator 2, and Moana.
Yeah, I wonder if they didn't come up with, like, a Barbenheimer kind of name.
Wicked.
What's that?
Gladiator and Wicked.
I know, but like Moana should have been.
No, Moana was definitely like the third billing of that situation. But between the three of them, those are all like big IP franchises, and they're kind of hitting like every demographic. It's hitting the kids, it's hitting like the men, and it's hitting like the women. You know, for Wicked. So it was like a crazy box office weekend. So obviously they're gonna make a third one. I'm curious to know if they're going to make the TV show that this one was supposed to be. Because like Moana 2 was originally supposed to be a Disney Plus series. And then they were like, why would we do that?
Or like a Disney Plus direct TV movie. You know what I mean? It's really sad because like...
Which doesn't make any sense because you slap the name Moana on something and of course millions of people are going to go see it because the first one like ruled. So it didn't make sense that they were making it a TV show. I think the Moana 2 being a TV show was much more in the like, oh, we really need to push like the Disney Plus like TV stuff when now that's not
but you're making a bunch of money.
No, they're making way more money in the movie theater. I don't know why that's not like a movie that they're gonna lose money on by any means. And I think the live action one is a bad idea.
I don't know why they keep every studio is doing retelling. You know, I don't like live action. I'm a person that is like an animation visuals person that loves that genre to be in its own category. I understand like it's cool to like reintroduce something to a new audience in a different like platform.
Yeah.
But I just love the original version of it. But like, look,
like they're gonna how they're gonna ruin Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch.
Have you seen?
I think we're in the trailer. We saw the little introduction to Lilo and Stitch as one of the teasers.
I missed that.
Oh yeah, somebody was late.
I was late, but I think Stitch looks good. But there's no way that movie's gonna be good.
Look. Again, that movie has like a unique cult following. I don't even want to call it cult, but people really love Lilo and Stitch.
What do you think the best Disney live action remake is?
I didn't watch any of them, by the way.
Not a single one.
I didn't watch The Lion King. I saw like parts of Aladdin. I didn't see Cinderella. I didn't see what's the other one that they did? Cinderella, the Beauty and the Beast. I didn't watch that one either. I know they're doing what's it called?
Mufasa.
I ain't watching Mufasa either. I'm not. The one that I want to see is Sleeping Beauty, because I think one of the casting is like one of the best casting they did is what's her name?
They're doing that?
Wonder Woman. No, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. They're doing that.
No, Snow White.
Yes.
That's not Sleeping Beauty.
I know, I mixed it up. But don't they all kind of fall asleep and get woken up by a kiss?
Snow White is a poison apple.
But does she
She's
eat the apple?
Poisoned. Yes.
She gets cured by a kiss?
Does she?
I don't know. She does.
There's no way Snow White's gonna be good, though.
She gets. I don't know, but I think the casting of Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, was perfect casting as the bad queen.
No, that is not perfect casting.
What do you mean?
Who the evil queen is?
That's who the evil queen is.
That's not okay.
You're telling me
Seb,
right
that
now.
woman cannot act.
I'm not talking about acting.
Then what are you talking about?
She is a great representation of the evil queen, whereas in Sleeping Beauty, it was Snow White, and Snow White is not. Like, I think, I don't know what the direction they're going to go with, because I saw the trailers, like the Ferris. I don't know if that's like a pure-hearted person or an attractive person, or that's kind of like a metaphor that...
Gal Gadot.
I told you. It's a gal.
Have you seen the dwarves?
Yeah.
It looks bad. It looks so bad.
It is horrendous what they're doing. Why are you taking away like opportunities for actors that like roles have been like basically written in literature for years? Dude, like it just doesn't make you know, when your Wonka boy got Hugh Grant to be in it. You know, I love Hugh Grant, but I'm just saying like that could have been anybody.
We do not disrespect Timothée Chalamet.
We're not disrespecting. I love Timmy. The fact that the man had like his own lookalike contest. He was on like
everybody's had one now.
But he
was the OG.
He was the one, and the fact that what's it called? I never can get over his like SNL skit. What he did with Pete Davidson.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Personally, I'm a fan of Tiny Horse more, but that's fine.
I got you. So I mean, this movie. I like to break it down.
I'd say it's watchable. Moana 2?
It's not a watch. It's for kids. You put it in the background, and the kids are gonna.
If you were to take a small child to the movie theater, there's a lot worse things you could go see than Moana 2. Like I had a lovely time. Like I didn't walk out of there being like, that was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I have a question for you. What you had a kid, and you had to take it to the movies to see an animated feature.
Yes.
And you had Moana 2, and you had The Wild Robot.
So that is a totally separate conversation because The Wild Robot is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. And Moana 2 was like an average kids movie. But like, for example, the Bad Guys 2 trailer played in front of Moana. I'd rather see Moana 2.
Are you serious? Over the Bad... I feel like the Bad Guys 2 would be a funner movie.
No, sorry, not the Bad Guys 2. That looks decent. What's the Wiener Dog one? Dog Man or something?
Okay, you were talking about like DreamWorks that I don't know if that's from DreamWorks.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Dog Man.
The Dog Man movie. You're going, okay, you have a kid. You going to see Dog Man or are you going to go see Moana 2?
We're going to see Moana 2. But do you know what the difference is?
There are worse things to see.
The question is, I feel like if I walk out of the Dog Man movie, I'll be surprised. I'll be surprisingly enjoyed that movie. Whereas when I walk out of Moana 2, I'm like just disappointed in the movie. Because you know why? It's when you have great IP and they just drop the ball. And Disney likes to do that.
You know, when you see the 2 in front of something, I did not walk in with perfect expectations. I was like, okay, we'll see.
You've not seen the Terminator, have you?
No.
Terminator 2?
I know that one is like goated. And Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie. Come on, let's be real. But
so we need to...
Shrek 2, way better than Shrek.
I don't know. I don't like any of them.
We're done. We're done.
No. But look. I want to break down the movie.
High School Musical 2, better than the original.
Okay, if you want. Look, plot, no. Characters, I liked. I liked that they introduced new characters.
They didn't have enough to do.
I know, but you know what? I thought they did more than I anticipated. But I feel like they had opportunities. Like I really wish.
The first one is just Moana on her adventure. I don't need anyone else.
I get it, but like Moana needs help. If she's going into the sea, she can't go alone.
She has a chicken.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
I don't know. The characters were good. I wish if they make a third one, they really highlight some of these characters. And I don't know what they would do if they did a third one.
Homie leaned into me and he goes, "Man, Hei's really getting it every second because they just almost keep killing the chicken like every 10 seconds. It's like the ongoing bit."
Yeah, it's basically Ketty. The direction of the movie's not good. Cinematography, if we would call animation, was
fine. It's
fine.
not. It doesn't look horrible.
It looks beautiful. I mean, you're in tropical like islands and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking, but it looks fine.
The soundtrack is like no.
No, the soundtrack's bad.
No. So if you had to rate this movie as a final thought,
it's 3 stars.
Hold on. Let me give you it. Let me give you. Oscar worthy.
No.
Razzie material.
No.
Cult classic.
No.
Streamable factor ability.
Yeah, of course. You put that in front of a child, then we're gonna run it up.
Or forgettable or legendary.
It's forgettable.
So you okay, if you had the choice, forgettable or streamable?
Streamable.
Streamable. Okay.
You don't need to race to the movie theater to see Moana 2, but if you're just like at the house with a small child, it's like, yeah, let's put this on and you're gonna have a fine time.
I was gonna say, like, is this movie gonna be like bank or bust? But it's like
it made so much money, it's not gonna bust.
I know.
It's Moana 2.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Okay, well, this was definitely a lights
camera
watch. Moana 2.
I'm supposed to say Moana 2?
Yes.
Moana 2.
Don't watch.
Watch. I think it's fine. Did you like Moana 2? Thank you!
This is some behind the scenes footage.
It's fine!
It was, for me, the first one.
You?